Okay, overall this is pretty good. There's a couple things I would do. I would move these, this is too close to the edge, touching the edge. This is too close to the edge. This is too close to the edge. Yes, please.
There are a lot of drills over there that are cramped into each other.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice that there's a pattern of it following up, I think. Because it's some sort of distortion from the main one that we want to focus on.
Okay, so the comment is that these are too cramped and pushed together, and that makes sense. And like I said, these are, don't run stuff right to the edge like this. Lottie, your name and everything is right on the edge. Put more contrast in this. Is this on a layer?
Yes.
It's down. That's probably the.
You know what layer that is?
If you click on it, I think it'll come up. If you go auto select in the top left, it'll,
Okay, so something we haven't talked about yet, there's various ways to get more contrast. The way that I like to use, because it's a simple way, image, adjust, brightness, contrast. You can use curves. Sometimes I do use curves, but it's not working.
And it is really.
It's working, but there's nothing there for it to work with, apparently. Okay, so I adjusted the brightness, that's helping.
Right.
So you need to make that that main image a lot stronger. So I just did that with brightness and contrast. And I'm gonna go ahead and say okay, because I'm real clear that's helping. So everybody else, that's something I do all the time, especially when you scan. The scanner doesn't scan a lot of times at the contrast you want. So after it's scanned, you've got to select. Let's see what layer this is.
if you hit auto select and above that arrow tool, it'll click on the layer up higher.
Under the
Up higher.
Photoshop logo, up. Yeah.
Right. Now go right. The little boxes you click.
No, it's the.
Yeah, right there. Now when you click on the object, it'll.
Well, you should be able to hit Control and click on
Yeah,
it.
well, you're on it right now. You're on the layer.
Yeah. So now I'll try to drag that around a little bit.
Okay. So image does right. Well, let's just look at curves. Curves and levels. You can play with those to change the contrast, but if I'm just going to change the contrast, I usually use the brightness contrast. This is more sophisticated, and I do use this.
Oh yeah.
You can play with that and see what it does, and you can also set it in one place and then go back and adjust again. But a lot of times that is so complex and confusing that it's easier just to go over here to brightness contrast.
Also, there's something you can do is that you can adjust one of them and then select the layers that you want the contrast and brightness be close to, then you just make it auto contrast or auto color
For all of them.
for the selected ones. Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. Okay, so moving the stuff in, this is too close to the edge too. This one I would move up to here someplace. Otherwise, it's got good flow from beginning to the final three to the final one. This stuff too close to the edge. You want me me to save this?
Sure.
So hopefully we caught some of the rest of you doing similar things.
So I don't know if you need these,
Yeah, it seems like
the lettering for the explanatory view. I would take it out and redo it with just the text tool.
Doesn't that destroy the purpose though of the explanatory?
Oh, man. I know, I'm just saying that you can cut this out with the pen tool and then retype.
Oh, okay, I see what you're
these
saying.
And then just put a line to it. Because right now with your little pink background, I feel like it's these little white openings are kind of taken away from your explanatory.
Yeah, totally agree. Good job. You should just keep going. Okay, so these need the same, all these scans need the same treatment. Okay, if you use the regular arrow here and you hit shift, it will also give you the layer that's on. Take you to that layer. So I'm going to just fix this one. They all need fixing. You guys all use you guys all use the same computer or scanner?
Yeah, we do that.
Because they're having the same problem. That scanner is not set very well. I mean, well, this happens a lot anyway with my scanner too, but not quite as bad. Okay, so you see how much better that one looks? Vinny. Vinny B drills. The rest of it's pretty good, but this pink background's too strong. It's competing for attention with the drill itself, so take the opacity down. Why isn't it? That's not working. Background. Okay, here's something I don't think I showed you before. Background is too strong. It's on its own layer. Layer opacity is 100%. Knock the opacity down.
That's not pink anymore.
That's good.
Anyway,
It's like purple.
What?
Yeah,
You can adjust.
it looks, you know, yeah, just the ones that are in that stripe, it looks like they should be popping more in the background.
Well, that's because these need to be pumped up just like this one is.
Instead of having like the light behind the words on that one, you could do like a,
I like straight over.
or do like a drop shadow, like make a box with a shadow behind it, so it looks like it's lifted above it instead of just being kind of.
I don't think you want to chat. You just need to get rid of these and rewrite them in Photoshop.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant, like, get rid of those, and when you do them, don't just cut out the white square.
No, just type right on the surface.
Yeah.
Just the text right on top.
Yeah.
When you do the texture on top, you can make it look
Like that.
it's floating above, yeah.
Yeah, you've got to do that. This is okay for your final rendering drawing, but it's not okay for your final presentation. Okay, let's try another. When I get up close, I see this line here too. It doesn't look good. This line outlining the background. I don't know where that line came from.
Yeah, that's it. I just freehanded it. Did all the curves and stuff. It was pissing me off.
Yeah, you don't want to be using freehand. Well, I don't think you want a line anyway, but for sure you don't want freehand on the final presentation. Spread out a little bit too much. These are too close to the edge, especially considering how much space there is in the middle here. Contrast is not as bad as the other ones, but it could be because these were so high contrast before they got scanned that it still needs more contrast.
Oh, yeah,
Can you control the contrast?
No. And you might want to put some kind of a gradation or something.
Yeah, the graphics, I have no idea how to do it.
Photoshop table.
The easiest thing to do is, I'm going to try to do something I hardly ever do, so let's see if it works. It didn't work. Focus. See that gradation?
I like that.
I put it on the wrong, I need to move that later, Bob, so you can, there it is. Except that means you have to select all this stuff.
Sure.
So that's just a straight gradation from this tool over here. Quick and dirty, but it's better than just plain white.
Yeah, I had no idea how to do that.
Now you do.
Yeah, I took like a photograph I took and then just did that magnetic lasso and it's a great, did a great.
Wow. Way to just go down.
Make our stuff look like crap.
It's
Pretty good. Again, maybe some of these things need more contrast. Let's see. Yeah, so I held down shift and then I clicked on this big drill and it went to that layer.
Okay, right now you're holding two layers, glory shot and layer 6.
Layer 6 is the back.
I don't want that one.
Oh, you're still,
Okay, so
you're still on top.
why?
You just blinded it out.
I love that.
Select it.
Why?
Okay, now select the glory shot only.
Love it.
Okay.
This is what takes the longest of these things.
Okay, so you've already seen this twice or 3 times, so the contrast is blowing it out. Did you use the same?
I didn't mess with it, yeah.
No, but did you use the same scanner that the 11 people use?
Yeah, if they use the one shine, that's the one.
Because it seems like they're all pretty
It's
similar.
more like settings on it, they're a little washed out.
Yeah, anyway, so you can play with this stuff, but you gotta watch out because you can see the colors. You lose some of the gradation when you go to real high contrast.
Yeah.
So you gotta play with that, but it needs, probably all these needs to be bumped up like that.
Yeah.
You do Chrome robots, you do an outline drawing and you keep in mind thick, thin lines.
Wow, I like that.
And then you want to put your black horizon lines in there. This horizon line is really low because the frog's up in a tree. It's reflecting back down the ground. And then your sky core. And a lot of these don't have a ground tone on them, but some of them do.
Nothing happens.
This little exercise almost always comes out looking really good, and it's
Right.
not that hard. It's kind of fun. So you need to pick an animal that has joints and articulations of some sort that you can, through your own creativity, figure out how to make that happen if it was hard materials, like robot materials. So you see the neck has got this segments that can bend, and the tail's got these segments, and the two legs have a pivot point, pivot point, pivot point, okay? Still paying attention to all the stuff we always talk about, thick, thin lines. Generally speaking, the lines on the bottom are heavier than the lines on the top. I've got more here. This is reference for you, and that's also on D2L. Gives you an idea about mechanisms and how stuff articulates and how it moves.
Not bad. I think I like that one better than how it was before.
How come these didn't show up?
maybe like a tiny square with my name like in the corner. Too much? Yeah, I wouldn't bother with the square. I was just
I like
put your
this
name
one.
on there, but not on your square.
Showing movement is
Don't
something
add
you could
stuff
do, it
you
doesn't
can-
have to be static.
Terminator.
You see how these lines are drawn through, like I just showed you on the scooter sketches?
Are we doing this on our computer? Or?
No, this is all on paper,
Okay.
paper and chalk.
I like that one.
This is your last paper and chalk assignment.
Is it?
So this is like, show me what you've learned how to do with paper, pen, marker, and chalk. Fun, huh? Why do they keep fooling around? I don't understand this file structure.
I think every time it hits a Photoshop file, it stops maybe.
It's
Oh,
doing
we
something,
didn't see
'cause
that
we didn't-
frog, yeah.
Did we see the frog?
No.
That is cool.
Seahorse.
So,
What the heck is that?
Flower.
it's a Flower. flower indeed.
That's pretty sick.
That doesn't look like an animal, unless it's a robot. Scorpion. Turtle, sea turtle, I like this one. See all the detail, this one's got a
Jeez.
lot of detail inside there. Not that you have to do that, but. The other view of the sea turtle.
Do you like that gradation? I'm like,
Squid.
totally, like stealing your like artistic.
Wow.
Look at the nice thick thin lines on here.
I'll be above you, okay? Let's see if we can put it in.
This one looks like the line work and the reflections are all blue pencil. I didn't do this.
Do you like that shape?
Is that a bad thing?
Not if you do it well.
That would be pretty.
This stuff right here is not on D2L. I got this somewhere. This is not really our assignment. This is like Photoshop version of this assignment. I don't even know I had these. But it could be used as inspiration. I never saw these before. I don't know what is this.
Not random at all.
No, that.
Oh, that's from that.
So, see your names off your phone.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
See this kind of stuff, like the hydraulic ram and stuff that open the mouth?
It's so cool. It's You do a dinosaur, that'd be fun.
Oh, that's pretty sick. He's got blonde hair.
Imagine when you're in the park.
Wow.
This is student work here.
Penguin.
Oh, wow.
Not
Penguin.
bad, pretty nice. I'm a French guy. I didn't- I think maybe we covered it. Okay, so go to D2L, if you need to, or just go online and find an animal for you to draw, make a robot out of it, and start working on it.
Could it be
Have
like
fun.
a mythical
Just-
animal?
Most of the students like this project, it's fun. So just do it. That's what Nike